What went wrong? Sources exclusively telling Fox News that they believe the outbreak originated in a Wuhan lab as part of China's efforts to compete with the United States. Here now on the phone is Peter Brookes, Heritage Foundation Senior Research Fellow and a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. This reporting has revealed, although it's not completely conclusive, but it's pointing towards this idea that they were working with this coronavirus in that Wuhan virology lab, and that because of negligence or some sort of accident, it got out into the open. Does that sound like a possible scenario to you based on your knowledge of the past?
Absolutely. It's totally plausible. I mean, Melissa, it could have happened in an insecure lab doing risky research or in a market through zoonotic spillover. It's certainly a possibility, but we had some sort of transfer from probably a bat to an intermediate host or a human directly, and then certainly onto other human beings. So this story is totally plausible. The important thing here, Melissa, is we need to know. We need to know. The reason we need to know is because we don't want this to happen again. And I think only by knowing the origins of this and through China's cooperation can we potentially prevent being in the place we're in right now again.
You talk about their cooperation, but they did exactly the opposite from the beginning. I mean, they denied facts about this. They shut down those who were trying to report about it. And now, the most recent reports say that while they were lying and obfuscating what was going on, that they were at the same time going around the world and vacuuming up PPE and medical supplies that they knew the rest of the world was going to need. What's the penalty for something like that?
Wow, it's got to certainly start with reputational cost. I mean, you and I have talked over the years about our concerns about China and their role internationally and, of course, domestically. And we're seeing unfortunately, we're seeing the results of that. What happened early on with the cover-up, the delays, and telling the world what was going on, not helping us now with finding out the origins of this so we can prevent this from happening again is very troubling. And it's very troubling to think that China is seeking global leadership, because if this is what happens at home, we're going to see these same sort of things, these policies and plans abroad.
Yeah, so what do we do about it? I mean, how do we put pressure on them? Does it take an international community? What happens from here?
Well, China's going to resist any investigation, right? And we know that. I think answers and accountability is required. There's not a lot of easy ways to get China to move in that direction. It's a very powerful country. We have a lot of equities with China, everything from North Korea to the global economy. But I think we need to stand up and call for answers, and I think the international community does as well. I think China needs to suffer reputational costs. And they need to tell us the origins of this so we can prevent something like this happening again. I would like to see an independent international investigation, not run by the World Health Organization, mind you, but I would like to see an independent international organization look at this and find out what the origins were. We could certainly condemn them at the United Nations, but any resolution is going to be vetoed by China at the UN Security Council. But we could raise it as an issue. I think this is certainly an international, it's certainly a global issue. It's an issue of international and global consequence. I also wonder if we have to think about our level of scientific cooperation with China. Once again, we don't know where this came from. We don't know exactly. I mean, wet markets are a problem regardless, or whether it come out of a lab or out of a wet market. That's a problem. That's something that certainly needs to be shut down. But I think we need to know. But as I said, it's inconclusive right now. And as we get more facts, then I think we can make fashion a response.
All right, Peter Brookes, thank you.